Hi, I'm Selena Terrones, an educator from the Scobie Education Center. Today we're going to be delving into astrobiology, the science of looking for life on other planets. Currently, there is no scientific evidence that life exists beyond the Earth. Our definition of life comes from studying our Earth. So it is very important to study the life that exists on Earth to be able to know where and how to look for life off the Earth. One way to look for life off the Earth is by sending rovers to other planets, such as the Mars rovers Curiosity and Perseverance. These research vehicles take samples of the soil or regolith and the rock and analyze them. They then send the information back to scientists on Earth. One thing they look for is chemical composition, such as the chemicals that make up living things: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. They also look for organics, which are molecules that are primarily made of carbon. Something that astrobiologists do when searching for evidence of life is to look for chemical reactions. These can indicate the presence of organics. Chemical reactions occur when atoms move and a molecule changes to another type of molecule. Chemical bonds are either created or broken to create a new molecule. Signs of chemical reactions include production of gas, which can include bubbling, fumes, or a change in smell, a change in color, a change in temperature, so it might get hotter or colder, or it can produce light. Now let's test the soil in your backyard. We're going to do 3 easy soil tests today. There are many different types of soils all over the world. They're classified into 3 categories. You have your clay, sandy soils, or your loam. And there are variations of each, different combinations. Clay is rich in nutrients, but slow draining. You may have used clay before to make a piece of art. Sandy soil. It drains very quickly, and it really doesn't retain much moisture or nutrients. Think of the sand in the playground. Loam. Loam retains moisture well and nutrients. So this can be the best type of soil for a vegetable garden. So now let's see what type of soil you have. Let's start with the squeeze test.
To get an idea of what kind of soil you have, you can do the squeeze test. Take a handful of moist soil from your yard. You may have to wet it just a little bit, like I do. And you don't want mud, just moist. Make a ball in your hand as you squeeze. Now open your hand. Does it hold its shape and then crumble when you poke it gently? You probably have loam. Does it hold its shape and when poked, does it keep its shape? You have clay. Does it fall apart as soon as you open your hand? You have sandy soil.
Depending on your results, you might have a soil that's a combination, such as sandy clay or clay loam. You can see all the different types on the soil triangle. Now let's do the percolation test. This will test your soil's drainage, or how water flows or percolates through the soil.
Start by poking 4 evenly spaced holes into the bottom of the cup. These are about 1/4 inch. Now fill your cup with soil. I've already prepared mine with 2 different types of soil so we can compare them. Take another cup of the same size and fill it halfway with water.
Begin to pour in the water slowly into the soil. Let's watch that percolate down. We add some more. Definitely see percolation there. If the water flows out of the cup quickly, you might have fast draining soil such as sand. If the water is absorbed by the soil and comes out slowly over time, you may have loam. If the water flows over the soil or starts pooling at the top and the soil looks a little shiny, you may have clay soil. One thing you can do is you already have soil in your cup and it's already moist, you might consider planting a seed. Now you can see the difference between these two. So this soil, the water drained out really quickly. So we can say it might be sandy soil. And this could be more of a loam. It's absorbing and holding the water a lot better. For our third and last test, the pH test. The pH test is a very important test because the pH helps determine what organisms will live and grow best in your soil. Now, pH is measured on a scale between 0 and 14. 0 being very acidic and 14 being very basic or alkaline. Now, most organisms, animals and plants on Earth do prefer a pH that is neutral, say between 6 and 7. Now for our test, we're just going to be doing a very easy pH test. We're only going to test to see if our soil is acid, neutral, or base. First, we will test for alkalinity. Pour about a half cup of soil on a plate. I already have mine set up. Slowly pour vinegar over it. I have my vinegar. If the soil bubbles or fizzes, it's alkaline. This reaction occurs when an acid such as vinegar comes into contact with something alkaline or basic such as calcium or limestone in the soil. Did you have a reaction in your soil? If you didn't see bubbling in your alkalinity test, you need to see if the soil is acidic. Use a fresh soil sample and moisten it with water. I'll pour a bunch of water in there. Now, slowly stir in baking soda. So I have my baking soda. And we're going to stir it in and see if it bubbles. If the soil bubbles or fizzes, the soil is acidic. This reaction is the result of acidic soil coming into contact with an alkaline or basic substance, in this case, the baking soda. Did you have a reaction in your soil? If your soil doesn't react to either test, it has a neutral pH, around 7, and that is very good for many living things. To learn more about your soil, you can talk to a master gardener or somebody at your local garden center, and they might help you with a soil test kit. Now, these kits can help you be more precise in your soil research. Well, now you're on your way to becoming an astrobiologist.